Dan Sodergren, tech and AI expert, is here to tell us more. Morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what's going on with batterygate then?
Well, batterygate started a long time ago, Kate, to be fair. The original case was around 2017. It's that long ago, and people were saying that their batteries were degrading and that was slowing down phones. This is all to do now with actually a newer claim of about 24 million users in 2022, and now Apple's saying that it's going to start paying out because of that. So it's worth something like £500 million or $1 million, should I say, as a payout, which equates to about $92 per person. We've got to, of course, remember that Apple's worth around $3 trillion, so it's kind of not necessarily chump change, but I don't think it's a huge amount to them. However, the UK case is coming in for something like $1.6 billion worth of compensation, and so it's a bigger deal.
Right. So is this an admission on Apple's part then that the batteries are kind of designed to fail after a certain period of time?
Well, you've got to be a little bit careful with words as always. So, because it's in the US, the law, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm a tech futurist and AI person, so just be careful with words. But in the US, the law's different. So we're not necessarily saying that Apple are admitting, but they're going to pay out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
So
sure.
yeah, that's the very difference, because of course that's the difference, of course, with the UK thing. You know, this ties in a little bit to the whole idea of planned obsolescence, and there's a European law that's coming in against that idea. And again, that's a great reason why we should be part of Europe, because it kind of protects us from companies creating stuff that they know is going to be obsolete in a couple of years' time, and hopefully there'll be a law coming in to kind of protect us from that.
I mean, I do have that particular make of phone, and inevitably after you've had the phone, I don't know, a year or 18 months or whatever, you start to notice a real significant drop in the battery life. Is it just with that brand, or does it happen with other brands too?
Well, I mean, you've got to be, again, careful with words. So the battery degrading will happen almost naturally.
Yeah.
I think this Apple thing is something that's a little bit deeper than that, that it actually slows down the iPhone, and they knew about this beforehand.
Right, okay.
But actually, what's really interesting is really the future of this, Kate, to be fair. If you think of it from a kind of work point of view, about 95% of us have smartphones, about 40% of us use those for work. Well, actually, if your work phone starts to slow down, that's not that exciting now, but in the future, when you start looking at artificial intelligence on these things, well, the artificial intelligence inside your phone slowing down could be a really big deal. And Apple wants to make a big move into AI. And of course, if Siri starts to slow down, because your phone starts to slow down, then actually that could be a really big thing. This is talking about the future of work. This could actually be massive. So
what would happen in that instance?
Well, it's a bit like your own personal butler or your own intern starting to get dementia or something. Like its brain would start slowing down potentially, and so it wouldn't be as good. So right now it's just your phone that might slow down, but in the future it could be the artificial intelligence, and that actually could massively affect how you can do your job.
Oh,
so
right.
it's an interesting thing. Apple's in this really odd area where if they start to admit it too much, that it slows down iPhones later on, then actually that's an implication for artificial intelligence, and even for the new Vision Pro that comes out in the next couple of months.
Oh, gosh, here's me thinking it's something that was mildly annoying, but it's clearly got much, much bigger implications.